Hi, I'm Anna and welcome back to my channel, Building a Business. So it's been a little over 3 months since I started uploading videos on this channel. So I'm going to do a brief overview of the first few videos I put out and just a review of the goals I set out in those videos and where I am with those goals and whether I feel like those goals need tweaking in any way. So if you click up here, I'll link the first video that I uploaded on this channel. And that video was more of an overview of what I wanted to get out of owning rental properties. Overall, the biggest goal of mine in terms of owning rental properties is to become financially independent and to minimize and/or eliminate any financial stress or struggles for my future. That is 100% still my goal. I want to become financially independent, ideally as soon as possible, and I believe that investing in rental properties is the best, most efficient way for me personally to do that. And by saying that, I really want to make it clear that owning rental properties may not be the best bet for you, but for my interests and my situation, I believe it's best for me. Now, in terms of the channel, I discussed how I wanted to really focus on being incredibly transparent about the process of purchasing properties, maintaining them, managing them, and eventually potentially selling them. And while we're still early on in the game, I believe I have done that. I also said that I wanted to upload monthly videos with my expenses and income from my rental properties. I have been doing that. So far, I've already uploaded my initial monthly report that just gave an overview of where I was starting at. I since then have also uploaded my monthly report from July and my monthly report from August. In my first video, I also mentioned why I was calling this channel Building a Business. And the reason for that was because I really wanted to focus on the business side of rental real estate to make it clear that it's not as simple as just investing in mutual funds and letting them sit. It's really something that you need a strategy behind, and you really have to treat it as a business. That being said, I'm not liking the name Building a Business as much as I did originally because it doesn't say anything about rental properties. So if someone came across my channel, just by looking at the name, they would have no clue that I am primarily focused on rental properties. So that being said, I am interested in changing the name. I haven't figured out what I want to change it to, so if you have any suggestions, please leave it in the comments below. But I am hoping to do that within the next month or two. Now, in that first video, I also discussed how I want to purchase residential properties, at least at the beginning, and that's still very much the case. The property that I'm currently under contract on is a single-family home located near St. Louis, Missouri. Now, in the second video I uploaded to this channel, I discussed my more specific goals in terms of how I'm going to get from where I am now to being financially independent and financially comfortable. In that video, I stated that I would like to purchase one property before turning 26 and purchase 2 properties by the end of 2020. Now, I just turned 26 this past weekend, so my first goal of purchasing a property before turning 26 didn't happen. That being said, I was under contract on the property over 2 months before I turned 26. So in that way, I feel like I did pretty much hit my goal. It was just a matter of working with a lender that caused me to have to push the closing date back past my 26th birthday. In terms of purchasing 2 properties by the end of 2020, I think that most likely won't happen. I've locked up a decent amount of my cash into this first property. And because I only have one property, I really want to focus on having a ton of cash reserves. And so I don't think I will have the cash to be able to purchase a second property within the next 3 or 4 months. That being said, I'm still looking and I'm interested in more creative financing options. So I'm definitely going to be looking into other options besides putting a large down payment on a property to see if I could hopefully start purchasing more properties faster than I would otherwise be able to if I were waiting to build up a significant down payment for each one. Now, in terms of the specific number goals that I came up with, I had 3 main goals. The first one was to be cash flowing $1,000 per month within 5 years. Additionally, my goal was to have 20% equity in each one of those homes at a minimum. The second goal was to be cash flowing $3,000 per month by the end of 10 years and to have at least 50% equity in each of those homes. And then my last ultimate goal was to be cash flowing $10,000 per month within 15 years and to own 100% equity in each of those properties. Now, overall, I feel like those goals are fairly achievable. I'm hoping that I can get to those goals before the 5, 10, and 15-year marks, but that will depend a lot on whether I'm able to increase my income and how I'm able to purchase my properties. In terms of my equity goal, that's the main part that I'm feeling differently about than I was 3 months ago. All of my equity goals were per property. So for instance, within 10 years, I want to have at least 50% equity per property. I don't think that per property mentality makes sense. I think the 50% equity overall makes more sense. So for instance, if I had a property that was worth $200,000 and I had 25% equity in that home, then the equity I would have would be $50,000. If similarly, I also had a $100,000 home with 10% equity, then the equity I had in that property would be $10,000. Even though I only have 10% equity in that second property, if you bring the two properties together, overall, I have 20% equity in my portfolio. That's because if I add the $50,000 equity from property 1 with the $10,000 equity in property 2, I get $60,000 of equity. The property values in total are $200,000 plus $100,000 for a total of $300,000. So therefore, $60,000 of equity with a total value of $300,000, that's 20% equity. So for my portfolio, I'm going to focus on overall equity instead of the equity in each individual property. Additionally, with my 100% equity that I want to have within 15 years, I'm not sure if I actually want 100% equity in each property. Certainly, I would like the vast majority of my properties to be paid off. That being said, I don't think I'm totally opposed to having a couple properties have mortgages on them if I decide that the financial benefit of doing that far outweighs the stress of having mortgages. One other thing I've been thinking about is, originally I was pretty anti using the BRRRR method for investing. I'm going to create a video about BRRRR investing, so once I do, I will link that in the description below. But for those of you who know what it is, I'm getting more and more excited about trying it out and seeing how that affects my goals and my overall investing opportunities and success. Lastly, one more thing that I've gotten super interested in is seller financing. Originally, I thought, why bother with seller financing when I can get traditional mortgages? But getting this first traditional mortgage has been incredibly difficult and stressful, and so at this point I'd really rather just get seller financing and work directly with the seller of the property to make sure we can come to an arrangement that works out best for both parties. So that's one more thing that I'm going to really focus on and try to learn as much as I can about that. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative to you so that you can see how my goals are changing and evolving as I get more experience and learn more. If you enjoyed this video, please like it below and subscribe to my channel to follow along on my journey.